I think Good evening and welcome to chilly Riverview Health Stadium. My name is Evan Cummings. I'm joined by my partner Aiden McNally, and tonight we have a thrilling matchup between two hungry HCC teams. Kicking first will be the home team of Westfield. Coming off two frustrating losses against two of the top teams in the state, Westfield looks to spring their record above 500. Acting as field general tonight for the Rocks is senior Cole Ballard. Last week versus Brownsburg, he went 17 for 29 with 191 yards and a touchdown. Also looking to make a difference today is star wide receiver Gabe Aaron Bolus, who tonight will likely hit 1,000 career receiving yards. The Rocks enter this game with confidence, hoping to come out of this game with a W.
On the opposite side of the field are the Orioles of Avon. Their unlucky streak continued last week as they fell to Fisher's 21-17 to discount their lackluster record of 0-6. Under center, they are led by the Big Ten recruit Mason Reynolds. Last week wasn't the best performance for the QB as he went 16 for 34 on 47% completion, 125 yards, 2 INTs, and a QB rating of 32. Avon's offense can't be overlooked, though, as they have one of the best RB duos in the HEC in Jaden Jones and Dalen Ziegler. The two backs combined for almost 200 yards in last week's contest, Jones having 128, Ziegler having 71. The run game will play a vital role in this Avon offense if they want to stay neck and neck with the Rocks in this one. Although Avon is sitting at an 0-6 record, that record doesn't necessarily showcase the talent of this team, especially after bringing it down to the wire, only losing by 4 last week to a much-improved Tigers squad. Anything can happen tonight considering Westfield is on a 2-game losing streak for the first time since 2019.
Welcome, folks. This game is sure going to be a good one. I believe Westfield's kicking. I wasn't exactly sure whenever I wrote the intro, but they're going to come out of the tunnel here in just a matter of moments. 0 seconds exactly. And this game's going to be really entertaining.
Absolutely. Two HCC teams that are fighting for a win after losing their game last week. As here comes the Rocks of Westfield.
One of the best qualities about this team is their fan base. I mean, Westfield doesn't necessarily travel well, as we saw last week with Brownsburg. There wasn't quite a big old student section like we're used to seeing tonight. But whenever we're home, the home stands are packed, especially the student section. And Avon cannot say the same, say the same as we see across the field. Their away stands are pretty bare.
Yeah, Westfield definitely has one of the best student sections in the state, and that's why they are one of the top contenders for the banner this year with AC Wish and the Zone. Westfield, that's one of their main reasons on why they're so successful at home is their student section, and they have yet another great showing against the Orioles tonight.
Tonight is youth night as well as dance marathon night for Westfield. It's also their Riley game, which they're doing multiple charities, charity donations and auctions during the game. And this is just going to be one heck of a matchup.
Avon last week coming off of a 21-17 loss to Fishers at home. What do you think Avon is going to do differently this game, and what do you think they have to do to beat the Rocks tonight?
Well, first and foremost, I think you have to run different plays. Maybe you find out what happened good last week and compare it to Fisher's defense to Westfield's defense, see what's similar there, and maybe see what will happen. Really,
I think you have to hand the ball off more, like you said. Jaden Jones, 128 yards last week with a touchdown, 16 yards per carry. Dalen Ziegler also had a great performance, 11 rush, 71 yards, 6.5 yards per carry as the captains go to center field for the coin toss. It'll be Jaden Bernaville, Charlie Dager, Chase Foreman.
Ryan Krieger.
Yeah.
We cannot forget about Ryan Krieger. It's especially easy to forget about him last week, especially because he had 9 carries for 6 yards. That means he was in the negative for most of the night, and he also had 3 receptions for 20 yards. But an interesting fact is last week was the first time in Ryan Krieger's career that he led the team in carries and in rushing yards, which just shows you how much he played a big role last week. He was in about 70% more than Kendall Garnett was in, and that's just Coach Jake Gilbert trying to figure out what they have in terms of running backs.
And the Rocks community could kind of anticipate that as he was facing injuries early on this year. being RB3 as well, but behind Terry Williams and Kendall Garnett before the departure of Williams. And now he's stepped up three big games back-to-back for Krieger. Obviously, his highlight, his peak of the season so far has been that Noblesville game where he had 77 yards and a touchdown. But he wants more, and he's definitely going to do that tonight against the Orioles.
It's a chilly night here. It's been cool all week, but it's especially chilly tonight. And Brody Bame will be set to kick off with the wind at his back. So are we looking at a touchback here?
I believe so. I mean, 4.5-star kicker. I would only guess he's going to nail this one straight into the end zone.
We will see.
Current kickoff weather, 63, and that's only going to go down as we are nearing winter here, as Brody Bam is ready to get this thing kicked off.
Superhero night in Riverview Health Stadium with perfect weather. You can't ask for more as Brody Bam kicks it off deep into the end zone, and that's new out the back of the end zone, and that's a touchback. Wasn't even the best kick either, but he still got it back there. Mason
Mason Reynolds, the Big Ten recruit, the star of this Avon offense, trotting onto the field. Last week wasn't too great for him. 16-34, 125 yards, 47% completion, 2 interceptions, 32 QBR rating. Hasn't thrown a touchdown in 2 weeks. But you also have to focus on the running aspect of his game. 9 rushes for 99 yards last week against Fishers with a touchdown. So it'll be interesting to see what they'll do with Reynolds tonight, especially against a star-studded Rocks defense.
In the middle of the field for the Rocks defense is Dylan Thieneman. He's making his second game back. Last week against Brownsburg was his first.
Handoff. He's going to bounce outside, and he'll be brought down by Sam Toney.
After a great effort, I will give it to
That'll be
Jaden Jones. He had a great effort there.
And we're going to see a lot from Jaden Jones tonight, as we've already talked about him last week with an explosive performance against the Tigers. We'll see no less from him tonight. As Mason Reynolds sets his offense, 2 wide receivers on the top of your screen, 1 on the bottom.
They're running a fairly bunch formation here.
Here's the snap, high snap, and Colton Vonderstar is going to get on top of Reynolds, and that'll count as a sack for the junior linebacker, Colton Vonderstar. Is this Avon offense is already facing looks of a 3-and-out with a 3rd and 17.
Last week, Colton Vonderstar led the team in tackles for loss by 1.5, and that was his first time leading the team in tackles for loss in his career. So he's really taken on a good leadership role, even as a junior, for this defense.
And he played a big role last year as a sophomore for the Rocks defense. As this is a 3rd and 17, first drive of the game. Already looking like they might punt it to the Rocks defense here. Here's the snap. Mason Reynolds is going to take it. I talked about his running game just a moment ago, but that'll not be enough.
Runs into his own blocker. I mean, that's honestly, if you look at that on replay, that's kind of funny. You know, you're trying to get good blocks set up, but you cannot run into your own guy like that.
This will be 4th and 10, excuse me, on that. As Andrew Liskey is back to return this punt.
He's very dangerous.
Sources are saying he might get reps at running back this week. We'll see.
Time will tell.
Yeah, we'll see if that'll happen tonight and maybe on this drive.
Westfield certainly preparing for
Rocks get a good amount of pressure. This will go right into Liskey's hands.
And he's going to cut up the middle.
He'll return it into Avon territory as he's going to get inside the 40 and let this senior QB Cole Ballard cook at the 37-yard line. Last week, Cole Ballard, 17 for 29, 191 passing yards, a pass TD, a pass interception, with a average QBR of 75.5. Last week, he had his worst rushing performance, though, having 8 carries for -9 yards.
That was exactly what I was going to say. The only downside to Cole Ballard last week was his rushing performance. I mean, he's usually a rusher that gets down the field and gets down the field quick, but he just could not do that last week against this Avon or this Brownsburg defense.
Handoff, Kendall Garnett. He's going to punch it up the gut for a good gain of about 6 or maybe 7. Cole Ballard wearing that glove on his right hand last week against Brownsburg, injured and broke his pinky, I believe. Was wearing a cast
all week,
and you know there was speculation that he might not dress or suit up against Avon tonight, but here he is with that glove on, and he's looking to get the Rocks a win tonight as there's a flag, and they'll back it up.
Last week, Kendall Garnett did not see the field a lot in the in the running back role, but he did see it a lot in the special teams role. Last week he had 5 carries for 0 yards. He had 2 receptions for 20 yards and then 127 kick return yards, as well as a 99-yard kick return touchdown late in the fourth quarter with about 2 minutes left. Kendall Garnett, though, I'm pretty sure he's going to see a huge role this week.
1st and 10. Here's the snap. Another handoff, Kendall Garnett. He's going to go up the gut yet again. That'll be a good gain of about 5 or 6 to set up a 2nd and medium.
2nd and 10s are really not what you want to see, especially early on in the drives whenever you have penalties. They're drive killing almost. I mean, you're still in Oriole territory, but you have to deal with long spans of 1st down, 2nd down, 3rd down.
Here's the snap. That'll be Max Nosler in motion. Cole Ballard scanning the field, looking to Max Nosler in motion. He has him. He's inside the 10, inside the 5, and that will already set up a great scoring opportunity for the Rocks. Only 3 minutes into this contest.
Zeke Richardson with the catch last week. He had I don't think he had a catch and reception last week. He might have had one, but I don't think he had one last week.
Hurry up offense here. Handoff. Kendall Garnett, he's going to get throttled at the line of scrimmage.
Met with brute force there by the Avon defense, but going back to that last play, Zeke was wide open on the edge. I mean, that was just a really nice wheel route off of the motion on to the right side, and Ballard just had a really easy pass there.
Here's the snap. Oh, low snap. Flicks it to Kendall Garnett, and he's going to get tossed out of bounds. There is a flag, though. We'll see who this is on.
The flag looked like it was just after contact was made on Kendall, so it might be a holding on Avon. Refs still debating this. Avon was not really known for their penalties last week. They're usually
Personal
pretty
foul on Avon, so
clean
this will
team.
move half the distance to the goal line. It'll stay 2nd down. Kendall Garnett's going to stay on the field here. I want to say he's likely to get the ball on this play, especially
I
early
wouldn't
set of
necessarily
downs.
pass whenever you have this and you have a great running back like Kendall in the backfield. I wouldn't want to pull Pete Carroll, you know what I'm saying?
Chase Foreman, the senior receiver, on the field on the bottom of your screen.
This makes me think it's going to be a rush play because he's usually in for blocking plays.
Here's the snap. Nope, it's a passing play. He's going to let corner, and that is a catch. Oh, nope, he dropped it. Had it in his hands, but dropped it. And
That's
that
why you don't
was
pass.
And that was a great play by the Orioles DB there. That'll be number 13 for the Orioles.
Jace Hurd.
Jace Hurd.
Playing 2 ways this week, was a wide receiver last week, didn't have any catches or anything, but he did play a very pivotal DB role.
Yeah, last week on the defense, he had 8 solo tackles. Crazy amount. 2 assists.
Even 1 pass deflection,
Yep,
like we
pass
just
deflection. 10 total tackles for him last week. Dylan Thieneman in motion. He's going to get the rush. No, it's a fake. Cole Ballard kept it, and he's in for the touchdown. Rocks already up 6 as the fake to the star linebacker, Dylan Thieneman, gets the Rocks into that gold end zone to put the Rocks up 6 early.
Fantastic play there drawn up by Jake Gilbert. Just a really easy read. The fake, the handoff to Dylan Thieneman, and got Cole Ballard in for his 8th touchdown this year.
Here's the kick, and it's no good. Nope, it is good. Brody Bayham nails it through the pipes to put the Rocks up 7-0 early. 8:35 remaining in the first quarter. You're watching Westfield Sports Network.
We are back here from Riverview Health Stadium. Rocks are up 7-0 off after a Cole Ballard rushing touchdown. That was his, I believe, 6th rushing touchdown of the season.
He's had plenty. I mean, Jake Gilbert and offensive coordinator Blair Schlicker love the QB option plays, and we've seen that earlier in the season as Cole Ballard stacks his 6th rushing touchdown of the year.
Brody Bain back to kick, nearly missed the extra point, but let's see what he'll do here. Wind at his back, he'll boot it deep into the end zone, and
Touchback.
right in the middle of the end zone, touchback, and now on trots Mason Reynolds.
Mason Reynolds and the Orioles offense collapsed last drive in their first drive actually of the game, forcing a 3-and-out was the Rocks defense. Forcing an early punt, which wasn't great either. Andrew Liskey caught it at exactly midfield, ran it about 15 yards to the 36-yard line of the Orioles to set up a touchdown for the Rocks. Mason Reynolds in shotgun to start this drive though.
By his side, I would assume, is Jaden Jones.
Here's the snap.
Handout to Jaden Jones. Good tackle there by number 2, Lennox Williams.
That'll actually be number 34, which is Dalen Ziegler, who last week had 11 rushes for 71 yards. RB2 in this offense, although he did get more touches than Jaden Jones last week.
Only by 3, but still enough to make a difference.
Here's the snap. Fake handoff. Mason Reynolds. The ball's still loose.
I believe the Rocks have it.
Rocks signaling.
And the Rocks have it.
The Rocks have the ball.
William Goodvine on the bottom of your screen going crazy.
Third and 12, I would assume this is a pass play,
And
but Coach Jake Gilbert calls a timeout. Rocks 7, Orioles nothing. 6:58 left in the first. You're watching Westfield Sports Network.
we're back here from Riverview Health Stadium. Rocks 7, Orioles 0, and the Rocks have a 3rd and long, and they're approaching the red zone of the Avon Orioles. And the Rocks have had a great night so far.
Yeah, 2 very big 3-and-outs, one of those actually being a turnover. Rocks getting their 10th turnover of the season in 7 games. Cole Ballard here in the shotgun. Kendall Garnett behind him. Here's the snap. Cole Ballard, a pass, takes it down, slides, not slides, but takes the hit inside the 15-yard line, but I'm afraid that'll be short of the first down marker.
I'm assuming we're going to go for it here. Head coach Jake Gilver always likes to do this. Whenever it's 4th and short and you are in scoring range, why take 3 when you could take 7?
Exactly.
That's his mindset right now. And worst case scenario, they try and draw him off sides like we usually do, and it might work, it might not.
4th down here. Cole Ballard's going to take it. Flag flies. Kendall Garnett bobbles it, but on the ground, he recovers it, though. Still awaiting the call. Kendall Garnett slow to get up as he is limping. That is not a good sign for the Rocks offense.
That was such a weird play. We've had our fair share of weird plays so far, and it looks like it'll be on the Rocks, and that'll give the Avon Orioles back the ball.
So as we change possessions, going back to coach offensive coordinator Schlicker, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of liking the pass attack that he's letting Cole Ballard kind of do his thing in the pocket, and it's worked out fairly well so far. 2 straight trips to the red zone for Ballard, and Schlicker seems to be moving this offense pretty well.
Just that call there with the read option, it didn't really work that time. I mean, they were crowding the inside, and they also had coverage on the outside, and that just did not work, and now Avon has the ball back.
Mason Reynolds back on the field in shotgun. Next to him is Jaden Jones. Here's the snap. Fake handoff to Jones. As that was almost an interception as a flag flies. On the tip pass was Samuel Toney, who has 3 interceptions on the year. But a little bit of a failed play there.
Looks like
still await the call.
Emmanuel Montgomery was there trying to take the screen, as it might be it's pass interference on the offense. It is on Avon.
Last week, Emmanuel Montgomery had 3 targets, but only 1 reception, but it was for a good 27 yards, as this is on Avon.
And now they're moving him into safety territory.
Yep. And, you know, with the pressure that the Rocks have had on Avon, I wouldn't be surprised if they get away with them one here, but it looks like the Rocks declined the penalty.
So it'll be still 2nd and 10. Instead of first down, which you could go either way with that call.
Yeah. Bunch set on the bottom of your screen. 4 wide receivers out total. Jaden Jones to Reynolds left. It's going to be a handoff. Jaden Jones makes one miss.
He's still running.
He finds a little bit of a lane, but not a very big lane, as this Rocks defense will climb on him to only limit him to 2 yards on that run.
Last game against Fishers, Jones averaged 16 yards per carry, and obviously tonight that is not the case.
Especially playing a completely different defense. Last week, Fishers' defense wasn't the greatest, and this Rocks defense is significantly better than the Fishers, I would say. Bunch formation on the bottom of your screen. I'm assuming this could be a wide receiver screen. Read option. Mason facing pressure as he is going to get that ball out for the first down.
What a
Number
throw.
8 on the reception. That'll be Aiden Chavis. Last week, 4 receptions for 31 yards.
What a throw there by Reynolds. That was a hard pass enough, but he was falling down, and he just had to chuck it forward.
That kind of reminds me of Super Bowl Patrick Mahomes, as Aiden Chavis, the senior, reels
and
that
now
one in
they have
for a
their
good
first
12-yard gain.
They have their first down, and they got some confidence going in them.
Handoff Jones makes one miss, gets a good 3-yard gain.
Stopped by William Goodvine, tripped him up there. That was very good by William Goodvine.
Jaden Jones really showing his shiftiness and his agility on these last few runs, making a lot of Rocks miss, and I think he has about 5 broken tackles so far. Shotgun, Jones stays on the field. Handoff Jaden Jones. He's going to find a little bit of a lane, and he'll be brought down 3 yards short of the first down marker.
Met
On
there
the stop was Tyler Dykus, the senior, who's actually top 5 in the state in tackles so far in this campaign.
Something else about Tyler Dykus. This season, he's had 23 solo tackles, 75 total, 3 pass deflections, and 1 interception. And he was bringing the heat there as we have an injured rock on the field. That's William Goodvine. He's replaced by number 51, Anthony Fetronelli, sorry.
Or Micah Webster is actually on the field as well.
Micah Webster's, in Dylan Thienemann's absence, he's played a crucial two-way role as well.
Yeah. Initially, he's a tight end. Obviously, that's his primary position, but he's big enough that you can stack him up on that D-line, and he can cause some damage.
Big third down here for the Rocks and for the Orioles.
Same set we've seen all night long from the Avon Orioles. Here's the snap. He's going to launch this deep, and this is going to be dropped right in the hands of receiver Anthony Kennedy. But he dropped it, and this will bring up a 4th and 3. Last year, Anthony Kennedy had 8 receptions for 53 yards, so he's definitely the wide receiver 1 in this Avon offense, and if Mason Reynolds is throwing the ball, it's most likely going to go in Kennedy's direction.
Now the Rocks will get the ball back, and hopefully they can be productive with it, unlike last drive. Liskey will be back to return for the Rocks. This is the farthest that Avon's been in Westfield, or near Westfield territory, I should say, because they haven't been in Westfield territory. High punt. Liskey's going to still field it. He's got no room to run. Makes one defender miss. He's still up and goes down and around the 40-yard line. So the Rocks will take over in their own territory around the 38-yard line. 7-0, you're watching the Westfield Sports Network. We are back here from Riverview Health Stadium. 7-0 Rocks. 3:34 left in the first quarter. Cole Ballard will take the snap out of the shotgun formation with Kendall Garnett right behind him. There's a snap. He'll fake the handoff. He's looking to throw. Has under pressure, deep throw, and that'll be incomplete to Gabe Arambolas. Pressure there by the Orioles defensive line. Really got him there as he threw. I don't think that affected the throw at all, but it was still there, and that might have been poor awareness by Cole Ballard.
Cole Ballard trying to get Gabe Arambolas his 1,000th career receiving yard tonight, as we saw with that deep ball there. That probably would have put the Shamrocks near the red zone.
The secondary is not bad on Avon at all. They just have some coverage issues sometimes. They can stay with wide receivers, but their coverage is sometimes blown by certain plays. Ballard is in the shotgun. Garnett right beside him. Ballard's looking to pass over the middle. Caught by Zeke Richardson. Richardson's going to go up and into Avon territory.
Correction, Max Nosler, the tight end on the play. Last week, 4 receptions for 51 yards and a touchdown. Cole Ballard's only touchdown on the night against Brownsburg.
And now, Westfield is right back where they were for the first 2 drives of the game in Avon territory.
Patrick Schramm on the bottom of your screen. He's been injured for a chunk of this season. He got his return against Noblesville a few weeks ago. Here's the snap. Fake handoff, Kendall Garnett. Cole Ballard scrambling to his left. Has nobody as he'll muster about 4 or 5 yards to set up a 2nd and 5.
Back to Patrick Schramm. Last week he had 2 receptions for 5 yards. And last week was also his first game with multiple receptions and positive receiving yards since he was injured up until the Noblesville game. The Noblesville game, he was just a pass blocker. And last week, or against HSE, he had negative receiving yards, but one reception for negative receiving yards. So it was good to see Patrick Schramm last week be involved in the offense.
2nd and 5 here for Ballard. Here's the snap. Handoff Garnett. And he'll get stuffed at the line of scrimmage by the Orioles. And this will bring up a 3rd and 5.
Last week, Westfield was overpowered by Brownsburg. I mean, they were blown out in total plays, first downs. They had more penalties, more penalty yards, and less possession time. This week, though, it is completely different. They were playing a 5-0 team last week, and this week they're playing an 0-6 team.
3rd and 4 here for the Rocks. Here's the snap. It's going to be another pass play for Ballard. He's going to get out of the pocket, and he is going to scramble for a first down, I believe. They might mark him a little bit short.
Nope, they're going to give him the first down.
Yep, they're going to move the chains here for Cole Ballard.
Ballard this season has 272 rushing yards and 5 rushing touchdowns. Actually, make that 6 with the one tonight. 6.2 yards per carry, and certainly he's adding on to that right there.
4 wide receivers set. Here's Ballard. Snap. Handoff Kendall Garnett. He's going to find a gate.
He's going to get him about 6 yards.
6 yards on the rush there for Garnett. 2nd and 4 on the Orioles 26. They're knocking on the door of the red zone.
He's tiny but mighty. I mean, he's very shifty as well. Kendall Garnett can definitely get a good chunk of yards whenever you need him to.
Here's the snap. Cole Ballard, another pass. He's going to throw across his body, and this is going to get nearly picked off by number 3 of Avon.
If I was Cole Ballard there, I would have ran the ball. I mean, you had one defender to make miss, but then after that, you had open real estate for as far as the eye could see.
On the dropped INT, that was Leighton Moore, the senior. Last week, he did have 4 solo tackles plus an interception. So he was looking to make that 2 interceptions in a row tonight. Unfortunately, could not reel that one in.
Either you call that poor decision making or, a pass that just didn't go his way. With the glove on, it is certainly harder to dictate where those passes go.
3rd and 4 here for the Rocks. Big handoff.
Weird
Corrupted
handoff.
play there.
Miscommunication right there, and the Rocks will be stuffed.
Kendall Garnett went to the left when he was actually supposed to go right. And that'll bring up a 4th and 4. No gain on the play.
And Brody Vame will be on to kick the field goal, or to attempt the field goal.
Gabe Aaron Bolas to hold the kick here.
Really? All right. We haven't seen Brody Vame come on for field goals hardly at all this season, so.
All right, about a 40-yarder. Snap, hold, kick is no good. Just fairly right of the pipes, and the score will remain 7-0 as Mason Reynolds and the Orioles will look to change that here in a moment. You're watching the Westfield Sports Network.
We are back here from Riverview Health Stadium. Rocks lead 7-0. 32 seconds left in the first quarter. I believe one play will end it here for Avon.
1st and 10 here for Reynolds. Another high snap, handoff, and he will get a good amount of yardage there. That'll be Dalen Ziegler for his 2nd rushing attempt of the game. And that'll actually move the chains.
Second first down of the game for Avon.
Number 6 of the Orioles is in pain. That'll be Cam Green, who had a decent amount of receptions last week against the Fishers. 3 receptions for 14 yards.
They'll try and get one more play off here.
Look to the sideline, only 3 seconds remaining in the quarter. And that'll end things for the first quarter here at Riverview Health Stadium. Westfield leads Avon by a score of 7-0 going into the second quarter. You're watching the Westfield Sports Network.
Your score here to begin the second quarter: Rock 7, Orioles 0. Real quick, we'd like to shout out a little podcast that we do. Aiden and I and Sam Mefford, one of the Rocks boys, host a podcast every single Thursday where we talk about Westfield sports in general, and we occasionally have on a guest for an interview. This week we had cross-country star Owen Flynn on. That was a really great interview. It was 30 minutes long, so it's a nice driving podcast to listen to. I would recommend. Look up the Shamrock Sportscast on all Spotify and streaming platforms. 1st and 10 for Mason Reynolds and the Avon Orioles. Handoff to Ziegler. Ziegler's going to take it up the middle. He's going to make a man miss. He's going to get a first down, but get stopped by a pile of rocks at their own 42-yard line, and that'll move the chains.
Yeah, great run there by Dalen Ziegler. He had a good amount of touches last week. 11 rushes for Ziegler, the senior running back, trying to make a statement in his last year. And he's doing so, especially with these last few attempts.
Ziegler's going to stay in the game. He's certainly a big body running back. He's really a power back that you need back there. Reynolds in the shotgun, takes a snap, hands it off to Ziegler. Ziegler's going to cut it outside, and he's going to get another first down.
Ziegler's second 10-plus yard rush.
In a row.
Yep, in a row for the senior running back as he's going to move the chains, and he's knocking on Westfield territory. As he is actually across midfield.
Into the game is Emmanuel Montgomery, listed on the Avon roster as a D-back, but he's certainly played more wide receiver.
Mason Reynolds in the shotgun. Here's the snap. Handoff. That'll be Ziegler yet again. That run will not be as good as the past couple, as that'll only go for about 6.
As there's a rock slow to get up. That looks like Dylan Thiedemann? Yes, it is Dylan Thiedemann. Thienemann's played a big role so far in this Westfield defense. 16 total tackles last week, 12 assisted, 4 solo tackles.
Here's the snap. Handoff Ziegler yet again. He's going to take this outside. He's going to get the first down and some, getting inside the red zone as Ziegler is stomping his way down the field to set up a 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line.
It is just so hard to bring that man down. I've said this before and I'll say it again. He's a big body running back. I don't want to compare him to an NFL player because I've been told not to do that, but he's like Derrick Henry in the terms of people can't bring him down.
Yeah. Snap. Jaden Jones is now on the field, and he's going to go nowhere. Never mind, that was Ziegler.
I was about to say, I don't think they made that change in that little amount of time. Good stop there by the Rocks defensive line. They've done a pretty solid job so far.
And Avon's starting to get a little bit conservative with their offense, running it a lot more than passing. Mason Reynolds had a lot of looks in the first quarter, hasn't had a single attempt yet here in the second. Handoff Ziegler gets around the corner yet again. Great stop there by the Rocks defense. Flag is down. That would be Reese Wire on the tackle there for the Rocks. Awaiting the ref's call. Personal foul, face mask, defense. This will bump up the yardage for the Avon Orioles.
Micah Webster still jogged on the field after that play had ended, as penalties once again are killing the Westfield Shamrocks.
As we've seen early in the season before. And Westfield are really the only ones that can beat themselves in this game.
They know they have the talent to win. It's just a matter of winning it actually.
Mason Reynolds looking right. Flag flies before the play even started.
And I have a feeling this is on Westfield again.
Maybe a false start. Here we go. It'll be on the defense.
Second straight penalty. I mean, this team, we saw this last week against Brownsburg, 6 penalties for 61 penalty yards, and their penalties might be the reason why Avon gets in the end zone here.
1st and goal from the 4 now for the Orioles. William Goodvine is back on the field for the Rocks after struggling to get off the field just a moment ago in the first quarter. Mason Reynolds in the shotgun. Here's the snap. Hand off Ziegler, and he gets stopped by a pile of rocks and carried back.
Looks like Andrew Liskey.
And
He was
is
getting
hyped for that play, as he should be, as he stopped a very, very powerful running back in Dalen Ziegler.
Just an amazing job there. Teamwork makes the dream work, and we saw it there. Liskey and a couple of other rocks getting into that backfield, swarming Ziegler and making sure he won't go anywhere.
Snap, handoff Ziegler, and he is in for 6 for the Orioles. Dalen Ziegler is making his statement at Riverview Health Stadium. He's letting us know who he is, and he's doing a great job of that, getting in for the end zone. And he is well over, I would say, 50 rushing yards so far tonight.
Westfield's got to find offense now. They got to answer. I mean, we've just seen what Avon can do with the rush game. Not really much in terms of the pass game, but they can rush very well, and Westfield's got to counter this with some good offense of their own.
On trots, Isaac Monroe for the PAT. He was 2 for 2 last week against Fishers. And he's going to keep that perfect percentage here as he nails that one through the uprights. Make that 7-7. We're tied here at Riverview Health Stadium. You're watching the Westfield Sports Network.
Back here in Riverview Health Stadium, it's tied up 7-7. Avon just tied it with a Ziegler touchdown. Quick shout out to Acol Films, one of the few content creators who's an absolute gentleman on the field and editing. So shout out Acol Films. He's a great guy. Go follow him on Instagram. We're trying to get him 7,000 followers. He truly deserves it. And now on to kick will be Leighton Moore. We're going to kick off here. Sorry, that's Monroe. He's going to kick off the...
Kendall Garnett on the return as he's going to find a little lane, and he's going to be off to the races as he gets brought down at the 45-yard line of Avon. On the tackle, number 15, Noah Washington, the wide receiver.
Last week we saw this exact same thing happen, just in a later time and a much more extreme fashion. Kendall Garnett got in the end zone after a 99-yard kick return touchdown against Brownsburg late in the fourth quarter to lessen the damage than that loss would have truly been. And he got in more on the special teams part than he did on truly offense. So he's making the most of his time on the field, and he'll still be at running back for this set. Cole Ballard in the shotgun with who other than Kendall Garnett right behind him. One wide receiver to the top.
Hasn't seen any field time today so far as a flag flies.
This might be on Westfield. It is on Westfield.
Penalties just keep hurting this Rocks offense and defense.
This might be their 4th penalty this quarter, or this half, I should say. They had 6 last week in total, and they had 4 so far already this week. So now Ballard will take it at the 50, and it'll be 1st and 15.
Here's the
Snap. Back to throw is Ballard. Ballard fumbles, picks it up, and he's running. He gets about 6 or 7 yards off that.
As a flag flies, though, don't know what that could be. Maybe offensive holding. It came right as Cole Ballard lost the football, and it's going to be on the Rocks yet again, a holding penalty.
5th penalty this half. We almost have the same amount of penalties in the entire game of last week. In the first quarter, in the first half, I should say.
In the first quarter and a half.
Quarter and a half, really, yes. This Westfield team's got to get it together. They got to stop committing these penalties.
So after 2 penalties, this will bring up a 2nd and 28 for the Rocks.
First and 28.
1st and 28, sorry. Cole Ballard Scrambling right.
Another flag as Ballard gets thrown out of bounds. Is this on Westfield? That is the question.
Yep, another holding penalty for the Shamrocks.
6 penalties in the first half for Westfield.
As Krieger trots onto the field to replace Kendall Garnett.
This is painful to watch if you're a Westfield fan right about now.
6 penalties on the day, and we're not even at halftime yet.
It'll be first down and about 30. They are on their own 30-yard line, and they got to get to the 35-yard line.
Wow.
That's nearly 50 yards. 32 yards to go. First second and down.
Second and 32 for the Rocks here. Or wide receiver set. I would assume it's going to be a pass. Here's a snap. Cole Ballard finds Dylan Thieneman over the middle. He's going to get past midfield and tumble at their own 48-yard line as he's hurt or slow to get up. He just came back from that leg injury last week, and he is in a lot of pain. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 17. Huge loss for Thieneman and the Rocks offense.
Dylan Thieneman, whenever he catches the ball and runs, it is a sight to see because he just has fun with it. He's like Gronk playing defense. That's how I would compare him because he has so much fun and he can really almost do whatever he wants. But that hit to the knee, he is in so much pain right now. Prayers up to Dylan Thieneman.
Here's the snap. Handoff Krieger. He's going to find a little lane after picking up a block from Isaac Cole. And that'll bring this to about a 4th and 8.
I will admit, I do not understand the call of short run play on 3rd and 17. We've tried it a lot this season. I don't understand it as Brody Bain will be out to punt.
I mean, I can kind of see why they called that. I mean, 3rd and 17, it's kind of unlikely that you'll pick that up. So maybe they were just running to get better field positioning for a punt to pin that back deep. So let's see if Brody Bam can do just that. Gets the punt off. It's going to be to the right as this will bounce inside the 10. Actually, never mind. Just outside the 10 at the 15 as Mason Reynolds trots on to hopefully take the lead for the Orioles.
This Westfield offense is kind of stalled. That drive altogether should have been way better than it was. The consistent penalties, I believe 3 or 4 on that drive, not ideal at all.
And obviously, you're going to have trouble moving the chains if you're going to have that many penalties. They wound up with a 3rd and 17, and that's going to be very challenging to pick up.
As it looks like
Jaden Jones going to get tugged back.
Jaden Jones last week had 8 rushes for 128 yards and 16 yards per carry, and this week the script has flipped. Jones has more carries than Ziegler had last week, but I believe Ziegler has more yards.
Yes.
So doing the most you can with how many little carries that you get. As Reynolds will maintain the shotgun formation, he's looking to pass. He's looking deep over the top, and that'll be incomplete.
He was throwing in the direction of Emmanuel Montgomery yet again.
Jake Good on the coverage there. Great coverage there by Good Island. As this will bring up 3rd and short. Is there a flag?
Yes, there is a flag. If this is on the Rocks defense, I don't know what to tell you. Here we go.
It looks
Personal
like it's on the
foul,
Orioles.
and it is on Avon.
Good. The Rocks have gotten unlucky with penalties in the first half so far, as we've mentioned multiple times, but something is finally going their way as it'll be 2nd and long.
2nd and 15 for the Orioles.
Reynolds in the shotgun. He's got Jones on his left side. It's a design QB run, and Reynolds nearly gets caught up by William Goodvine, and Reynolds is still going. Flag flies, and this all might be erased because of a penalty. Avon, towards the back side of the field, is looking like it was a block in the back of some sort, and that's what it might be.
Sam Tony chased Reynolds out of bound near midfield there. But I don't think that'll matter as everyone on the field is jogging back.
And this will be probably on Avon. So penalties on the offensive side of the ball for both teams are killing their drives.
Yeah, penalties are hurting both of these teams for sure. Obviously, last drive we saw with Westfield that forced a 3rd and 17 shortly after a 2nd and 32, I believe.
And now it'll be 2nd or 3rd down and 15. They might they're redoing the play, or should it be 3rd down? I'm not really sure. Reynolds is in the shotgun alone. It's a screen off to the running back Jones, and Jones is brought down before the line of scrimmage. Great tackle there, great coverage there by the Rocks defense, and it'll be 3rd down and 16.
Great tackle there by number, looks like 37, I believe that's Casey Graybill.
He's finally back after injury.
The junior with a huge solo tackle will bring up a 3rd and 16 for the Orioles offense.
Big part of the drive, 5:48 left in the game and counting. Reynolds in the shotgun, he's looking as there's a flag. It looks like it might be a false start on Avon.
Another flag. I would say there have probably been around 10 penalties already in this matchup.
In this quarter even.
Yeah.
As this one is on Avon, and it'll bring him back more. So a big 3rd down now, again for Avon. This time they're at their own 5-yard line. They got to dig themselves out of a pretty deep hole.
Yeah, penalties hindering both offenses tonight. 3rd and 21 for the Avon Orioles. They might just run this one since they're so far back up. They don't want to risk a sack and a safety.
As that's what they do. They'll run it with Ziegler, and Ziegler is trying to get out, and he'll get up at least to 10-yard to go line, but it'll still be no effort there. And now they'll bring on the punt team. After Avon punts the ball, we will have to depart from the stream until the second half starts because of a Coach Gilbert halftime interview. So with 5 minutes left and going down after the punt, we will depart the broadcast.
Andrew Liskey back to return for the 3rd time tonight for the Rocks. Rocks have gotten a good amount of pressure on these punts so far tonight, as they'll get a good amount of pressure again on this one, and it'll come up short. It'll trot towards Liskey, but ultimately picked up by the Avon special teams, and that'll set up shot for Cole Ballard in the Avon territory on the 45-yard line. We're going to be back in the second half. We got to go do that interview. Enjoy the rest of the half, and we'll see you in the second half.
Cole Ballard, the quarterback. Eli Peters on the stop for Avon. Now to make it 4th down for the Rocks. Brody Bame in to punt. Brody Bames punt. Goes out of bounds at the 43-yard line. First and 10 Avon. Reynolds' pass falls incomplete, intended for Washington. Second down from the 43-yard line. .34 Ziegler, the ball carrier on the play. Ran into a wall of rocks. Reynolds' pass incomplete. Intended for Kennedy. And that brings up 4th down for the Orioles. Church into punt for Avon. Liskey back deep for Westfield. Avon's punt was blocked by number 51, Anthony Feltrinelli. First and 10 Rocks from Avon's 34-yard line. Kendall Garnett, the ball carrier. Tripped up on the play by Jace Hurd. Gain of 7 yards on the play. That brings up 2nd down. Kendall Garnett, the ball carrier. Result of the play is a 1st and 10 Westfield. Timeout on the field taken by Avon.
Check, check.
Garnett, the ball carrier on the play. Touchdown, Westfield. There is a penalty marker on the field. Ballard's pass is complete to Nosler. False start, Westfield. Ballard's pass falls incomplete. Pass was intended for Aaron Bolus. It is now third down for the Rocks. Ballard's pass falls incomplete. And that brings up fourth down. Brody Bame comes onto the field for a field goal try. Bame's field goal attempt just wide right. It'll be first and 10, Avon from their own 20-yard line. Reynolds' pass complete to Jones. Casey Graybell on the tackle. That is the end of the first half. With your score, Westfield 7, Avon 7. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight is our Riley football game, and we want to thank everyone who came out to support the Riley kids. We especially want to give a shout out to our amazing Riley families the Browns, the Sturcheys, the Scotts, the Beemans, and the Hoffmans. Now we are having a miracle minute to support Riley Children's Hospital and the 300,000 children they provided care for. Last year, Westfield High School's dance marathon raised over $114,000 for Riley. You can help us raise even more this year. Right now, there will be people walking around with Riley buckets, so please donate as you wish. There will also be a QR code on the Jumbotron that you may scan if you'd like. Thank you so much in advance for your generosity and ladies and gentlemen, for the first part of your halftime entertainment, we welcome the Westfield High School dance team.
Come on, let's go. I play the song when I work out. I stay at home when I work out. Don't call my phone cause I'm in the zone cause I play the song when I work out. So what? Them chins up, clothes I put on my fitness clothes I turn up the radio like girl, you about to sweat. I hit them jumping jacks, don't quit. No turning back, I'm lit. Now bump that track until you soak it wet. Let's go. I play the song when I work out. I stay at home when I work out. Don't call my phone cause I'm in the zone cause I play the song when I work out. I play the song when I work out. I stay at home when I work out. Don't call my phone cause I'm in the zone cause I play the song when I work out. I kick these legs and knees, this chick can't hardly breathe, forget that Mickey D's cause girl you on a roll. Let me hear say choo choo, say choo choo. Now this train is cut loose. Now let's firm up that caboose. All aboard. Boom, girl, get it, punch, hit it, twist, lunge, with it. Play the song when I work out. Boom, girl, hit it, punch, hit it, twist, lunge, with it. Play the song when I work out. Work out, baby, work out. I play the song when I work out. Work out, baby, work out. I play the song when I work out. Play the song when I work out.
Let's hear it one more time for your Westfield High School dance team.
High School Marching Band. Westfield's program is entitled The Dark Horse and features the following musical selections. Dark Horse by Katy Perry. Aha by Imogen Heap. Heroes by David Bowie. And Symphony No. 4, Heroes by Philip Glass. Westfield High School is proud to present in exhibition performance drum majors Rebecca Rust, Anna Graber, and Brianna Clark, and the pride of Westfield.
Evan Cummings here with Coach Jake Gilbert. Coach, there have been pros and cons in this first half, but one of the big cons is penalties. What are you going to say at halftime to make sure that we have less penalty yards and less penalties in general?
Well, I'm about to go in there and rip their butts, to be honest, because it's just unacceptable. The self-inflicted penalties, the lack of discipline we played with all year has really hurt us and it's hurting us tonight.
What else can we do to win this game?
Well, we're going to have to find a lot more just will than what we have. I mean, we can't flinch. It's been a tough first half, tougher than what we feel like it should be. Avon's a great program. Believe me, they're going to come out and play their best. We're going to have to make sure we don't flinch, and we're ready to rock in the second half. We start with the football. We need to score.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Go Rocks.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, everybody. We're here tonight to celebrate the Future Rocks. The WSI youth football and cheer programs are doing very strong. Look at all these Future Rocks out here. Lots of enthusiasm. They are fired up. Hopefully they'll get our Rocks fired up in the second half. All right, we're just going to introduce them by leagues, if you will. First of all, we have the Flag Football Rocks. All right. Do we have any flag football cheerleaders here? No. Woo! How about the flag football cheerleaders? All right, our first grade tackle league rocks. Give it up. And the first grade cheerleaders. Now our second grade tackle rocks. And the second grade cheerleaders. Our third grade tackle rocks. And the third grade cheerleaders. The fourth grade tackle rocks. And the fourth grade cheerleaders. Our fifth and sixth grade tackle rocks. And the tackle cheerleaders. And then we have our fifth and sixth grade travel team and cheerleaders. Woo! This is a big week for all these teams. I believe the playoffs start this week. And the championships are next week. Who's going to win the championship, guys? Who's going to win it? All right. Rock football and rock cheerleading is alive and well. The future looks great. Give it up one more time for the future of Westfield High School, the Shamrocks.
This is the halftime report. It is 7-7. This is not the outcome the Rocks have hoped for, but going to the second half, they need to have some balance going into it. Their rushing yard total is 50 yards, with Garnett leading with 33.
Back here at halftime is ending here in Riverview Health Stadium. 7-7 is the score after a bunch of offensive penalties and drives stalled. The only two scores that we've seen thus far is a Cole Ballard rushing touchdown, which was 2 yards in the first quarter. In the second quarter, it was a Dalen Ziegler rushing touchdown that was also 2 yards. But we've seen plenty of missed opportunities here for both sides of the ball. For Avon, it's been penalties. At Westfield, it's been more penalties and 2 missed kicks by Brody Bame. Aiden, what are your thoughts on this first half?
7-7, but I wouldn't even call this a defensive slugfest. The offense of each school or team, whatever you want to call it, is hurting themselves. All these penalties have been crazy. They've set up crazy sets of downs, like we saw 2nd and 32 and a crazy 3rd and 28, I believe, from Avon, and they're inside their own 5. So if either team wants to win this game, they got to limit penalties. And I think Jake Gilbert is definitely going to enforce that and emphasize that in the locker room. And I feel like the Rocks are going to come out blazing. Hopefully they can get something going on offense. Obviously, you mentioned the 2 missed kicks from Brody Bayham, and a few drives have stalled. Brody's actually been busy on the punting side of special teams as well. But, yeah, penalties are a huge must fix for the Rocks and the Orioles if either school wants to come out and win this game here.
As you heard during halftime, or as you may or may not have heard if you tuned in, then you heard Jake Gilbert, Coach Gilbert, describe what he was going to say to the team during half. He said, I was going to rip their butts. He was serious, and he did not like the way his team played in the first half. Penalties plagued the team. Penalties plagued both teams. The big story of the second half is who's going to have less penalties. Whoever has less penalties will 100% win this game.
Absolutely. Penalties have undoubtedly been the X factor in this game, and it's hurting both teams. And honestly, I feel like the team with less penalties in the second half will ultimately win this football game, especially because penalties are playing such a big role.
Brody Bame is also playing a big role. The score could be 13-7 right now if Brody Bame made those 2 kicks.
Yeah.
Just think about that. This game could not be that close. Jake Gilbert could have chosen different words for that halftime. He might have still chosen those words if they were up by either 3 or 6. But the main thing is, if you don't have, this is common sense, right? This is football common sense. The less penalties you have, the more opportunities you have to score, and the farther you are down the field and the farther you are in enemy territory.
Some looks around the HCC tonight. Brownsburg putting away Zionsville early, up 36-3 at halftime. Fishers and Franklin Central are doing battle right now. They're at halftime. Fishers leads that one 14-0, and then another 14-0 game. HSC leads Noblesville at halftime. Things are getting a little bit dicey here towards the end of the season. Fishers obviously up on Franklin Central. We kind of predicted that. Brownsburg, we expected to beat Zionsville, maybe not by 33 at halftime. They're on pace to score 72 points in this game. HSC, we kind of expected them to put away Noblesville, and they're on pace to do so, leading by 14 at the half. But now we're focusing back at Riverview Health Stadium. 7-7, Rocks Orioles tied as this third quarter is about to get booted up. You're watching the Westfield Sports Network.
Back here for second half action. The Rocks will receive the ball. Gabe Arambolis and Kendall Garnett will be back deep to receive. The wind has died down, although it looks like it is going just east of the stadium. The sun sets in the west on this Riverview Health Stadium, so the wind is going east. They'll be kicking off from the 40-yard line. It looks like they might try an onside kick here.
Kickoff. It was 63 degrees here in Westfield. Now it is 58.
And they try an onside kick as Michael Webster will return, and he'll have some room to run. He's on the sideline, and they're already in Avon territory.
Not really sure what the call there was by the special teams coordinator there for Avon, as Westfield is already in Avon territory to start off this half. And hopefully Jake Gilbert emphasized penalties for Ballard and this offense. Holding was a huge problem in the first half. We saw a few holding calls on the Rocks offensive line. But as I said, and as I'm going to say again, Jake Gilbert definitely emphasized that at halftime.
Ballard did not do the best job in the first quarter, but he did do a pretty impressive job. Nearly had a couple interceptions. He's in the shotgun right now. He takes a snap, hands it off to Kendall Garnett. Garnett's going to make one man miss. He's going to truck through and dive down to the 40-yard line for about a 3-yard gain.
And I think the first step to taking control over this game for Westfield is establish the run. Kendall Garnett is very able to do so. We've seen before in games past, like LC, Zionsville. He is a very explosive running back, and he can surprise you with a 30-yard run here and there.
Ballard back in the shotgun, fakes the handoff, looking over to his right. He'll take it himself. He'll go get a first down and more. He's still going. He's still on his feet. He's still going. Push by his offensive line, and he's down to the 20.
Wow, a great effort there by Ballard and his offensive line, pushing him forward. And Cole Ballard took that down at the perfect time. That linebacker saw him coming down on the flat, and he decided to take it down and pick up a 19-yard run.
Ballard will take the snap. He will hand it off to Garnett. Garnett's going to cut it back inside, and that'll be about 2 or 3 yards
and
for
just
second down.
3 plays in, the Rocks are already in the red zone of Avon, and Jake Gilbert and Schlicker coming out with big plays here as this will set up a 2nd and 7 on the Orioles' 18-yard line.
I feel like if the Rocks go pretty even on both sides of the football, pass and run, they can very much put this game away early in the second half. Ballard back in the shotgun will receive the snap, hand it off to Garnett. Garnett's going to have a lane. Garnett's going to truck through. Garnett's still going, and Garnett will get in for the touchdown. No, he'll be stopped at the 1.
Short.
He looks like he got in there.
What a run. 5'7", 175, bulldozes a safety to get inside the 5 and the 1-yard line. Puts his head down in the secondary, and they are 1 play away, 1 yard away from putting 6 more points on the board.
A great drive so far here for the Rocks. Early on in the second half, Ballard receives a snap, hands it off to Garnett, and Garnett will not get in. He'll still be a yard short, and it'll be 2nd down and goal.
One thing I do want to see here is maybe a play action and then roll out to the right, hit maybe a tight end on the run like Nosler or Webster. But I think Schlicker will stick to Kendall Garnett here.
Ballard takes a snap, hands it off to Garnett, and Garnett's just going to walk in. Touchdown, Rocks.
Easiest touchdown of the year for Kendall Garnett as he makes the score 13-7 now in favor of Westfield, as Brady Bam, who's had a sorry night so far, trots on to boot this PAT through the uprights.
Brody Bame on to kick the extra point. He's been sketchy. He made the first one, but he's missed 2 field goals since then. Looking to make it 2 for 2 on extra points here. Snap, the hold, kick is up, and it'll be a line drive and good. So the Rocks will take control of this game, at least for the time being. 14-7, 9:54 left in the third quarter. You're watching the Westfield Sports Network. We are back here from Riverview Health Stadium. Rocks lead the Orioles 14-7. Some other score updates, as we mentioned at halftime. Hamilton Southeastern led Noblesville 14-0, but now they lead 21-0. Other scores: number 10 Carmel is up on number 5 Ben Davis 7-0, and also not sure if this is correct, but something to note: Martinsville 97, Perry Meridian 94. That doesn't seem right, but that's what Max Prep says. Other news updates: Center Grove leads Pike 29-0. Lawrence Central leads North Central 13-0. Fort Wayne Snyder currently leads Fort Wayne North 41-0, and Terre Haute North Vigo leads Southport 23-0. Brody Vane to kick off. from the 40-yard line as he will boot it up and away. It'll be a short kick, first non-touchback of the night, and it'll be returned by Avon, and he'll try to hurdle. Might be called a flag. No, it will not. We saw a flag called last week at Brownsburg. Micah Webster, I believe, or Max Nosler got a hurdling penalty. Did not know that that was a thing in high school, but it is. As the Orioles will set up shop here deep in their own territory. First down and 10 from the 22-yard line. Reynolds will take the snap in the shotgun. Reynolds takes a snap, handoff to what it looks like Jaden Jones, and he goes nowhere.
Jaden Jones had a very average first half, I would say. Dalen Ziegler was Avon's #1 look in the running game for Avon, pitching in that touchdown with 60 rushing yards on 9 attempts. He was a beast first half, and I would not be too surprised if they implement Ziegler more in the running game here again in the second half.
Reynolds back to take the snap. Jaden Jones still in at running back to his left. Reynolds looking to pass. He's looking on the near side of the field. He's got a man, and it is just incomplete, in and out of the hands of what it looks like.
Aiden Chavis.
Yeah, number 8, Aiden Chavis. The pass game has not been as effective as Mason Reynolds and the Orioles have wanted. There have been some missed opportunities, some near interceptions, and overall some bad wide receiver play by Avon.
Yeah, a lot of drop passes, as you also saw at the end of the second half. Mason Reynolds found Emmanuel Montgomery wide open over the flat. That could have potentially set up a field goal, but Emmanuel Montgomery dropped that one, as this will set up a 3rd and 8.
Reynolds once again in the shotgun. He's got Jones on his right side, now motioning left, and that'll give him a false start, I believe, either false start or delay of game. And it looks like it is a false start on Avon, so it'll be 3rd and long now. That motion man is tricky. In high school, it's tricky.
Another penalty, as we saw right there. Penalties just become more and more of a factor as we go on in this game.
Not an empty backfield. They still got Jones there. 3 wide receivers on the bottom of your screen, 1 at the top. Jones in motion. Reynolds takes a snap, and Reynolds somehow gets away from pressure, and Reynolds will be brought down. Ball is loose. Westfield recovers, and Westfield will get the ball deep inside Avon territory.
Will Byers, the senior linebacker, on the forced fumble. It looks like that'll be Micah Webster, the tight end, on the recovery, as the Rocks are already looking to make this a 2-score game.
This Westfield team is finally rejuvenated. They have life. Cole Ballard and these Westfield Shamrocks will now have an opportunity to go up double digits.
Which is a huge lead in this game, especially in this game, considering this is such a defensive slugfest.
Garnett still in. He's seeing a lot more running back reps than he saw last week. Last week he only saw 5 carries and he had net 0 yards. As Ballard will be in the shotgun with Garnett right behind him. The handoff to Garnett. Garnett will take it on the outside. Garnett gets hit on the lower side of his body, but he'll get up just fine for a 5 or 6 yard gain.
This will set up 2nd and 5 on the Orioles 10. And I feel like if the Rocks score right here, preferably a touchdown, if they score right here and then stop the Avon offense, I feel like
this game might be over.
I would say that would build enough momentum for the Rocks to ride the wave to victory here.
This defense has played the lights out so far, but then again, that happened in the first half, and we saw what happened towards the end of the half. Fumbled snap by Ballard, and he's hit upon recovery, so it'll be 3rd down and medium, about 3rd and 5 or 6. We've seen a litany of fumbled snaps. It might be from the glove on Ballard's hand, or it might just be from the cold temperatures, not getting your hands warmed up enough.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of muffed snaps, more on Avon than on Westfield, but
especially in the first half of the game.
Yeah. 3rd and 6 here. If you're Westfield, you have to convert this. You you can't not capitalize on that forced fumble there.
Ballard in the shotgun, looking wide open in the end zone. Touchdown!
Nope, they're going to rule it incomplete. Gabe
No.
Arambolis was out of bounds, and this will bring up a 4th and 6 for the Rocks.
Looked pretty into me.
As Brady Bam is out.
Brody
He's
Bam.
0 for 2 on field goals tonight. He's looking to make that 1 for 3 and to put the Rocks up double digits here.
Was that to Gabe Arambolis?
I
In the end
believe
zone?
so.
They're trying to get him to 1,000 yards tonight.
Yep.
Because I don't think he has a reception tonight.
Nope.
Speaking of Gabe Arambolis, he's going to be the holder tonight. That might be the problem why Brody Bame is missing, or it just might be some bad kicks. Bame setting up to kick about a 29-yarder. The kick is up and blocked.
Wow.
Blocked
An
by
unlucky night from the 4.5-star kicker Brody Bam continues as Mason Reynolds walks onto the field, and Westfield just keeps losing these opportunities to go up double digits. I mean, Will Byers forces the fumble in the red zone, and you just got to capitalize off that.
Wow. I mean, I'm just kind of appalled by the special teams play tonight by Westfield. The kickoff return has been good, but the field goal unit has been lackluster and certainly not the best for Westfield. Reynolds will be in the shotgun. I believe that is Ziegler now in. Reynolds will take himself up the middle, and he is grabbed by the leg by a Westfield defender, and that'll give him about 2 or 3 and 2nd down and long.
Last week, Mason Reynolds had 99 yards rushing on 9 rushes, 11 yards per carry, and a rushing touchdown. Tonight, we have not seen any of that same performance at all. Only having, I think, 4 or 5 carries for maybe 4 or 5 yards tonight.
2nd and 6. Reynolds is in the shotgun. Right next to him is Ziegler. Pass, little hitch route caught, and still trying to go.
Emmanuel Montgomery on the reception.
Last week he had one reception
for 27
27 yards. Yep.
Yep.
We're reading each other's minds. And that'll move the chains for a 1st down.
And if there is a time for Avon to pounce on the Rocks D, to get some momentum back, to score any type of points, it's this drive right here. This is the furthest they've gotten in a while down the field.
Reynolds takes the snap, fakes the handoff, takes it himself up the middle, and he's got blockers, and he's got a good chunk of gain, about 6, and it'll be 2nd and 4.
And you can kind of notice that the offensive coordinator of Avon is trying to mix in Mason Reynolds in the running game a little bit. Obviously, I just mentioned that great running performance last week from Reynolds. They're trying to get it going this week, but they have to realize this is a completely different defense that they're playing against this week compared to Fisher's last week.
Reynolds takes a snap, hands it off to Ziegler. Ziegler up the middle, and he was still fighting, and he might be just short of a 1st down.
I believe they'll mark him short here as they'll tumble back.
Did he fumble?
Oh, they're going to call
he
it Rock's
fumbled.
ball.
They're going to call it Rock's ball. No way. Wow. Oh, my goodness. Just when you thought the play was dead.
Wow.
Westfield forces a fumble. They called it a live ball as there's an injured Oriole on the field.
We couldn't really see what happened from this far away. I kind of want to know what that play looked like and what happened.
And Westfield magically has the ball in Avon territory. This is miraculous, as we'll have an injury timeout for Avon. Just a couple quick notes while we're in the injury timeout and hoping that this Avon player gets better soon. They've been struggling so far. This is their first 2-game losing streak since 2019 and 2020. The Rocks, however, are 63 and 41 at home all time. They are pretty average in HCC play, 70 and 71 in HCC play all time. They're lackluster, though, against Avon themselves. Westfield holds a 5 and 13 record versus Avon all time, though they are on a 2-game win streak as of the last 2 years. Before 2020, the Rocks only won 3 times in 14 years.
Wow.
And then Westfield is an uncharted territory versus Avon, as they've never won more than 2 games in a row.
They get the Avon player
Off the field.
Off the field.
Best wishes for that Avon player. That looks like Carson Foxen. He had 7 solo tackles last week, but now the focus shifts onto the Westfield offense. Cole Ballard is in the snap. 2 wide receivers on the bottom of your screen. He'll take the snap, hand it off to Kendall Garnett. Garnett's going to bounce it outside. Garnett's got a lane. Garnett breaks through, and Garnett will get a 6 or 7 yard gain, maybe even 8, and that'll be second and short.
Another great run by Kendall Garnett. He is proving himself as a solid RB1 here in the offense. You know, coming into the season, we didn't know if he was going to be RB1 behind Terry Williams, but now, since Terry Williams departed, he stepped up, and he has played a huge role in this Westfield team, and I would say he's probably one of the most valuable players on this Rocks offense.
Ballard takes the snap, fakes the handoff to Garnett. He's got a wide open. Is that Gabe Arambolas?
For the first down is Gabe Arambolas.
That was about 2 or 3 or 4 yard gain, and he is now just 3 yards away from that 1,000 mark.
And I'm sure they'll get it to him, especially now that they know what they have to do to get him the ball. It'll be nice to see him get that tonight.
It would. First, that moves the chains as well, so it'll be first down inside the red zone of Avon. Ballard is in, takes a snap, hands it off to Garnett, and Garnett is looking for a hole, and he'll get nowhere, and that'll be second down and short. Actually, long. I don't know what I'm saying. It's been a long day, folks.
Kendall Garnett slow to get up. He seems fine. This will set up a 2nd and 8.
Garnett, I feel like his running decisions while he's on the run have been fairly good recently. Ballard takes the snap, fakes the handoff. He's looking. He finds, looks like Micah Webster in and out of the hands.
Intended receiver there, Micah Webster, who last week had a good performance. 1 reception for 3 yards. With the absence of Dylan Thieneman, he actually played a crucial 2-way role last week as well as this week as well, as we saw him recover that fumble that Will Byers forced out of Dalen Ziegler's hand.
Third down and long. The cold temperatures recently, especially on the field at field level, the players have not really been exposed to such cold temperatures, so they're not acclimated to having their hands kind of freeze up on them and be kind of like bricks. Third down and 10. If another Rocks drive stalls, they're still opening the door for Avon. Ballard takes a snap. He's looking. He's got someone. Contested, caught by, is that Chase Foreman? Indeed, oh, no. Is that?
Max Nosler, I believe. Yep,
That's Max Nosler, as they'll set up a 1st and goal, and they're going to hurry up. Ballard takes a snap, hands it off to Kendall Garnett. Garnett's going to lose a couple yards.
And
so
I feel like that play call was kind of predictable if you're the Avon defensive coordinator. You kind of know they're going to hurry up to hand it off to Kendall Garnett, who has had an amazing night so far. I feel like Schlicker has to mix it up a little bit inside the 5. All they've really done is run the ball with Kendall Garnett, and it's been very predictable.
As they're going to have Dylan Thieneman. Is that Dylan Thieneman? No, that's Gabe Arambolas in at Wildcat. This is odd.
Wow.
They're going to have Cole Ballard line up at wide receiver. Arambolas will take the snap, and he'll run it on the outside, and
he's also short yet again.
It'll be third down and very short.
Interesting play call there by Schlicker. Obviously, it didn't work out in Westfield's favor.
As this will bring up third down and 1. I feel like a simple run play if Kendall Garnett just kind of dives over everyone. I feel like he can do that.
He has the ability, I feel like.
It'll put them in the end zone, but
timeout, Coach Gilbert.
Coach Gilbert will take a timeout as we will head to a quick timeout. 14-7 with the Rocks threatening to score. 3:09 left in the third quarter. You're watching the Westfield Sports Network. Score update here, just around Indiana. We're not going to do ACC. We're going to do around Indiana. The Lafayette Jeff Bronchos are currently defeating McCutcheon 50-0. Lawrence, looks like Lawrence North is defeating Warren Central 21-7.
Little rivalry game there.
Yes. Carmel and Ben Davis are tied 7-7.
Another
Fishers,
rivalry game.
exactly. Fishers is beating Franklin Central 14-6. Owen Valley is beating Eastern Green 41-0. And we are going to go back here to play. Cole Ballard in the shotgun right behind him. Kendall Garnett, he's going to fake the handoff. Ballard's going to take it himself, and he's going to get into the end zone.
And that was a great fake by Kendall Garnett, acting like he's going to hurdle the pile. Cole Ballard kept it for his second rushing touchdown of the evening to put the Rocks up 20-7.
Brody Babe now on to attempt the extra point. He's been electric so far on the extra points, but field goals he's been kind of lacking. I believe he's 0 for 3. Let's see if he can make it 3 for 3 on extra points. Bame lines it up. Kick is up, and it is good.
Near perfect kick.
So 21-7 with 3:05 left in the third quarter. You're watching the Westfield Sports Network. We are back here from Riverview Health Stadium, Chile. Riverview Health Stadium, might I add. 21-7. Rocks lead with 3:05 left in the third quarter. The Rocks have got it done on defense so far this half, and they've got it done on offense, scoring twice on their 3 offensive drives to start, and they're looking to get it done here again on defense. Bame to kick off. This one is a line drive, but it might be a touchback, and it is, even though the receiver fumbled it.
Yep.
That is his, 4th touchback so far of the game. Impressive stuff from Brody Bame. Not so impressive is his kicking stats, 0 for 3 field goals, but 3 for 3 extra points. And now will come Mason Reynolds on for the Avon Orioles.
Mason Reynolds, his performance has been up and down. He's had a few good passes, one of those being that over-the-shoulder dime to Aiden Chavis. Ultimately, that did end up coming back because of that personal foul. But, that kind of shows what Mason Reynolds is capable of as they hand that ball off to Jaden Jones.
That was Jaden Jones on the carry. Or was that Dalen Ziegler? I can't tell.
It was Jones, yeah.
I was about to say, I'm going to make a quick comment on these Avon Orioles uniforms. The white on yellow, it may look good, but it is hard for us to tell the numbers.
Yeah.
So if we get any numbers wrong at any point in this broadcast, we are trying our best, guys. It is these uniforms are really tough to tell. It would be better if they were white on black. Second down and short for Mason Reynolds. Takes a snap, hands it off to Jones. Jones on the outside. It looks like he will get the first down, but not much more. Brought down by what it looks like Andrew Liskey, and that'll bring up first down and 10, and it'll move the chains.
This Rocks defense has come out absolutely electric. Basically no yardage given up at all in the second half so far. I mean, obviously they let up a few yards, but ultimately no
Good
massive
stops so
yardage.
far.
Yeah,
I mean,
great stops. I think all 3 and outs so far for the Rocks defense as we near the fourth quarter.
This is the only not 3 and out so far in the half. 2 minutes remaining left in the third quarter. Reynolds on the near side of your screen. 1 receiver on the near side of your screen as well. 2 on the top. Fakes the handoff to Reynolds. The pass is tipped and incomplete.
Are they going to rule that incomplete? Yes, they will. This will bring up 2nd and 10 for Mason Reynolds and the Orioles.
Number 54 is there on the stop. Sam Bola, he's making a name for himself. This is only, I believe, his first year on varsity. It might be a second year, but I'm almost confident that it's his first year. And it'll be 2nd and 10.
Great pressure there by the Rocks D. They've been able to do that all day. And that's really showed with the scoreboard.
Mason Reynolds in the shotgun with what it looks like Jaden Jones, as Reynolds will keep it himself, and he'll lose the football.
Another fumble. Lennox Williams reads that perfectly to force the fumble out of Mason Reynolds' hands. Wow, this Avon offense is fumbling a lot.
I mean, usually Kendall Garnett has the fumbling problems, and usually he's the one fumbling the most, but I believe this is Mason Reynolds' third fumble.
He's
I
fumbled
believe 2 fumbles lost, but
Yeah.
he has a lot of fumbles in general tonight. If you count the miscues and
the snaps.
the snaps. Reynolds
3rd and 13 here.
is going to have to dig deep in his bag to try and get them out of this hole. It is fumble. There's
Oh.
a fumble. Great coverage there. Great pressure off the far
The
side.
helmet came off. from
Helmet came
Avon.
off. And either way, this is amazing for Westfield. This was an amazing play.
Another great play where the Rocks got a great amount of pressure.
They're going to give the ball back to Avon. Number 72, Ben Carmen, lost his helmet, and the Orioles are going to punt away.
Urliski back to return for the 4th time today, I believe.
Westfield is finally playing Westfield football. Would you agree?
Yes, this defense has been absolutely electric coming out of the gates, and it's shown. Only 7 points allowed in the game total so far. Brent Harlow, the
Guy-high
senior
punt.
specialist.
As it'll maintain inside Avon territory. The Rocks will start at the 48-yard line. 21-7. Triple ones on the play clock, or not on the play clock, on the game clock, I should say, left in the third quarter. You're watching the Westfield Sports Network.
Going left, and he's going to get a good amount of yardage. Oh, as they keep pushing the pile.
He's still up. He's still going. Oh, my goodness.
As this is going to go for a good gain of about 20.
What an offensive effort there by the Rocks.
A flag is down.
It has to be for like a block in the back or holding or something.
I feel like this is definitely going to be on Westfield. Yep, and Jake Gilbert is out there talking to the ref. This is definitely going to come back, but still a great effort by Kendall Garnett.
Awesome effort there.
And by the offensive line.
Usually those plays result in maybe a couple extra yards. That gained like at least 10 extra yards
10
after
of just-
contact.
10 yards of just pure shoving.
As this will set the Rocks back into their own territory, if I'm correct. Nope, they're going to still be in Oriole territory, so it'll be second and about 8. Time winding down on the game clock, 50 seconds left and counting. Ballard's still looking for the play call. Ballard's had an up and down night, but mostly up so far. He's had 2. He's responsible for 2 of the 3 touchdowns. Pass looking, Ballard looking, going very deep for Gabe Arambolas, and it is deflected.
Wow, what a play. What a defensive effort there by the Orioles defensive back. That's going to be number 22 for the Orioles, Steven Charles.
Might have just
no,
been
I'm sorry.
slightly underthrown. But
Clarence,
then again, Gabe Arambolas might have not gotten to that ball if it was thrown at a good pace and a good trajectory. I don't know if that's a word or not.
Clarence
trajectory.
Cunningham on the pass breakup there.
And that'll bring up second or third and long. As Ballard will look to pass, he's under pressure, and it is caught by Ryan Krieger, and that'll be nice 3 or 4 yard gain, and it'll be third down and medium.
As Brody Bam will come on and punt this thing away. Or no, they're leaving Cole Ballard and the Rocks on the field.
It says third down, but I believe it's fourth down.
Oh, no. I think they are maybe reset downs after the penalty.
All right. Whatever works.
It's third down, apparently. Wasn't aware of that.
As they're going to have Micah Webster sub on for, it looks like Ryan Krieger.
Ryan
Yes.
Krieger.
And it'll be third down and 6. Play clock winding down. They got to get this play off quick. As Ballard gets it off, fakes the handoff to Kendall. He's under pressure. He's looking on the far side and
Picked off.
intercepted.
Jace Hurd on the play. Or no, Leighton Moore, I'm sorry.
Leighton Moore with the interception.
Leighton Moore had an interception last week. He gets his second in a row.
As I'm really just in awe because Coach Jake Gilbert and the entire defense and the entire bench was waving their arms up down to get the crowd hype.
Yeah.
Maybe for this defensive effort, but Avon is now in Westfield territory.
And Avon has been in shambles this whole half so far offensively. Mason Reynolds in the shotgun. Takes the snap. Handoff Jaden Jones. Lennox Williams is all over that. Oh, Jaden Jones is still up. What an effort by Jones as he's dragged out of bounds by Reese Wire. Jaden Jones, an extraordinary effort to get them inside the 10, but there is a flag down.
They practice these in warm-ups, you know, these like keep your hand on the ground, jump, keep your hand on the ground, jump. I don't know what the drill's called, but it was a great effort nonetheless.
Amazing effort.
Is this on Westfield or is this on Avon? Either way, the quarter's ended.
Lennox Williams had his hands all over Jones, and I thought he had him down, but no, he stood up, and he kept going for an extra 20-yard gain.
As they're still trying to decipher what the problem was.
The ball will be placed at the 19-yard line of
It was
Westfield.
holding on the offense.
Holding
Avon.
on Avon.
So we will come back from the break. 12 minutes will play as there's a bunch of discrepancies in these types of games. We've seen them every week. It's just high school football. It's the way it is. You're going to get some weird officiating calls that you may not be aware of because everyone just watches NFL football, but no one really pays attention to the officiating of high school football. We see these moments every week where the refs either can't make up their mind or it's just the weirdest call ever. The weirdest situations happen ever as they're going to allow one more play. It'll be first down from the 19-yard line.
An untimed play. Technically, we're still in the third quarter. There are triple zeros on the clock, so this will be an untimed play for the Orioles. First and 10 from the 19. Mason Reynolds looking left. He's going to target Emmanuel Montgomery here as it looks like he reeled that in, and that's going to be a touchdown. What an amazing catch by Emmanuel Montgomery, the senior, or Anthony Kennedy, I'm sorry. Anthony Kennedy, the senior.
That was over, it looks like Jake Good as Avon's in this. Although they just gave Westfield the ball back right before the start of the fourth quarter.
An on-time play results in a touchdown. And we're going to go into the fourth quarter with a 21-14 score if this kicker nails it through the uprights.
I was about to say, assuming the kick is good.
Yep, 21-14 is the score going into the fourth quarter. You're watching the Westfield Sports Network.
We are back here from Riverview Health Stadium with some score updates. An HCC blowout. Zionsville got defeated by Brownsburg 50-3.
And
47-point game.
And as we said coming out from halftime, this game was 36-3. Now it's final. And then also Fishers, Franklin Central was 14-6 the last time we checked in. Franklin Central now leads that game 15-14. What a wild night around the HCC.
And outside of the HCC as well, the Lafayette Jeff Bronchos defeated McCutcheon 57-7. I mean, we're just seeing a bunch of blowouts. This is just incredible. And HSC obviously leads Noblesville 28-7 in the fourth quarter. So we're the last HCC game, I believe, to be starting in the fourth quarter as
Wow.
there was heat coming off that kick return, but the play was made by Micah Webster, the catch, as the Rocks will try and move down the field slowly like a turtle, but still score a touchdown.
Yeah, you want to try to run down as much clock as you can if you're Westfield. Maybe put the ball in the end zone, but even a field goal would work to put you up 2 scores. As Cole Ballard trots onto the field yet again.
Another important score, I feel like. Cathedral 30, LaSalle 0 in the third quarter. This is a time of blowout. Center Grove 48, Pike 0. As Ballard will take the snap and he will hand it off to Garnett. Garnett on the outside, and he's still going.
Yeah, and we're going to see a lot of touches from Garnett for the rest of the night. You're up 7. Obviously, you want to put the ball in the end zone, but a field goal would work too. You want to run down as much clock as you can, and Kendall Garnett is your answer to do so.
They did not move the chains there. It'll be second and short. Ballard takes a snap, hands it off. Just kidding. He fakes it, keeps it himself. He's got some room. He's got the first down.
As they are now nearing Avon territory already. One thing I don't understand about the Avon kickoff is
why it's so short.
Yeah, you chip it right to the 40-yard line, 2 plays, and they're already knocking on your doorstep.
I guess they understand how deadly Kendall Garnett is receiving and returning. Obviously, he had the 99-yard touchdown last week against Brownsburg and 127 kickoff yards total, or kick return yards total, rather. And now he's in the backfield with Cole Ballard. Ballard, snap, looking, over, incomplete, as it'll be second and long.
Great play broken up by the linebacker for Avon. Trying to see what number that is. Looks like 32 for Avon. That'll be Carson Foxon.
Whatever drains time off the clock, I guess. It'll be second down and 10.
Carson Foxon played a huge role in a good performance last week against Fishers, notching out 7 solo tackles, 11 tackles total, and a tackle for loss.
Ballard, snap, looking deep, looking for Gabe Arambolas. And that's an incomplete pass, but there's a flag for pass interference.
Easily a PI there. Gabe Arambolas. All the defender got there was Gabe, no ball.
Didn't even try and hide the pass interference either, just shoved him down.
And you know, Cole Ballard loves his wide receivers. He's trying to get Gabe over that 1,000 career receiving yard.
He's trying so hard. He's tried on 5 separate occasions tonight, but there's been some really good pass defense here by Avon.
Gabe Arambolas is up to 996 career receiving yards. A 4-yard gain would put him over 1,000. As Cole Ballard sets up in shotgun. First and 10. I'm assuming this will be a run with Kendall Garnett. Yep. Kendall Garnett takes it right. Makes a few miss. Clarence Cunningham with the tackle there. As they just keep pushing. This Westfield offensive line.
They don't quit.
Have pushed Kendall Garnett probably a total of 40 yards tonight alone. And it's set up their offense for great opportunities.
Second and short, I mean, he would have had more if he had not ran into Gabe Arambolas, who was blocking for him. So, otherwise, a great effort there by Kendall Garnett.
Second and 2 here. Here's a snap. Hand off Kendall Garnett yet again. Stiff arms one into the ground. Tumbles right at the 1st-yard marker. We're not sure if they're going to move the chains yet. And they will. First down, Rocks.
There was an Oriole limping. It looks like 95. Samaj Brooks was limping there. He still remains in the game, though, and it is first down.
Here's the snap. Hand off Kendall Garnett yet again. This will pick up a good gain of about 6.
Feed KG. Feed KG. That's their motto right now. They are feeding Kendall Garnett.
And you can tell they're trying to run down as much clock as they can, and they're doing a really good job at it.
10 minutes left in the game, and they're moving down the field swiftly and yet wasting a good chunk of time. Not really running hurry up, you know, they're kind of going at their own pace. They're confident in themselves.
2nd and 3 here for the Rocks. Full Ballard in shotgun. Scanning the field, takes it down. He's going to get the first down and some. Takes a hit inside the 5, and this will set up the Rocks for 1st and goal at the 5-yard line. Great play there by Cole Ballard.
Boy, is he fired up after that. I mean, he's a running, bruising quarterback. He's not afraid to take a hit.
Hurry up offense here. Hand off Kendall Garnett. He's going to take it right, and he walks into the end zone. Kendall Garnett has played probably one of the biggest roles in a Westfield offense I think I've ever seen. Ever since the departure of Terry Williams, he has stepped up. 272 yards on the season, 5 total rushing touchdowns. He's averaging 4.4 yards a carry. You can't get any more out of a sophomore running back who is supposed to be an RB2 coming into this season.
Great play there by Kendall, just reading his options there and then just cutting through and scoring with ease. And now Brody Bain will be on to attempt the extra point. Gilbert to hold. I find it odd that Gabriel Bolas holds for field goals, but
Gilbert holds for PATs.
Gilbert holds for PAT.
Bame 3 for 3 tonight for PATs. Make that 4 for 4 as that'll put the Rocks up 14. 9:21 left here in the 4th quarter. You're watching Westfield Sports Network.
Coming back here to Riverview Health Stadium, 9:21 left in the game. Rocks lead 28-14. Avon's about to get the ball. A couple things that I want to mention. One, Harrison beat Indianapolis Arsenal Tech 41-0. They finally fixed the Perry Meridian Martinsville score, which was like 97-94. It is 14-0 Martinsville. As well as Ben Davis Carmel still tied at 14-14. Fishers leads Franklin Central 20-15 in the 4th quarter. Lawrence Central is leading North Central 26-0. Center Grove is demolishing Pike 48-0. Lawrence North is beating Lawrence Central 28-7, and Brody Bame is about to kick off for the Rocks.
Deep ball to the right. This is going to be received by Emmanuel Montgomery and yet another touchback.
5th on the night for Brody Bame.
5. Yep, I was just about to say 5 kickoffs, 5 touchbacks. As Mason Reynolds is he's got to do something here.
They've got to get some form of offense going. I mean, they scored the last time, but you got to get more than just scoring. You got to score consistently, and you got to hope your defense does well. Obviously, the defense could not do well last drive, and that resulted in a Rocks touchdown.
Mason Reynolds set up in the shotgun here. The snap, handoff Jaden Jones. Going to make a couple miss at the line of scrimmage, but ultimately is only going to get 1 yard on that play.
What I find funny about that play was Sam Toney. He's so electrified. He is so hype because the team is winning, the team is doing well, and he just jumped on the pile that was already swarming Jane Jones.
2nd and 8 here. 8:50 left in the 4th quarter. Snap. Mason Reynolds looking left. Finds a wide open receiver outside the numbers. That's going to be number 15, Noah Washington. He gets chased out of bounds by Andrew Liskey, and that will put Avon in Westfield territory.
Good play there. Good play design by Avon there as their flat offense is finally turning into something that they could work with. They're now inside Westfield territory. They're on the 38-yard line, and now they have some rejuvenation in them, and they could finally put together a scoring drive here. Reynolds in the shotgun. Jones right next to him. Fakes the handoff to Jones. He's looking to pass. Reynolds says there's a flag. Might have been a false start or encroachment or something. As it'll be a false start on Avon, and all that position is suddenly kind of decreased there.
And yet another penalty on the Avon offense. And what did I say? Coming back from halftime, whoever has the least penalties is going to come out and win this game. And Westfield has definitely had the least amount of penalties in the second half, and it's showing on the scoreboard.
Second down and they'll replay first down. First down and long from the 48-yard line. Reynolds will take the snap. He will run it up the middle himself as he will get chased down and brought down by, looks like, what's that, Michael Webster? No, Michael Webster's coming down the field now. I believe that was Tyler Dykus. Tyler Dykus making the ankle tackle there, so it'll be 2nd and 10. Mason Reynolds now with an empty backfield. This is 100% a pass play or a QB draw. Either one. I could really see either one. Bunch formation on the bottom of your screen. Low snap. Reynolds has got to do something with it. He gets it away. Caught inside inbounds as it'll be 3rd down and short.
Pass caught by Aiden Chavis, the senior there. Last week, Chavis, 4 receptions for 31 yards. Coming into this game, we knew he was going to be a big factor in the Orioles receiving game, and he's showing that so far, having a good amount of yardage tonight.
3rd down and short for Mason Reynolds. He will take the snap. Flag flies as this might be on Avon again. Aaron Bolus and it looks like Brady Cobb go on the field as it'll be another Avon penalty from what it looks like. As refs indicate, it'll be, yep, it was a penalty on Avon, so it'll be 3rd down and about 9, 3rd and 8.
Penalties just keep hurting this Avon team, especially they're down 14, 8 minutes left. They are trying to claw back into this game, and penalties are not helping.
Reynolds looking, screen pass over. Can someone make a tackle? Santoni moves, the ball's loose, and Westfield falls on it.
Westfield's 3rd turnover of the game, 12th of the season, and that might put the icing on the cake here, up 2 scores. What a play there by the Westfield defense to force yet another turnover.
Ball control has really been the story of the night on the side of Avon. They have had very poor ball control, as that gives Westfield a great opportunity to run down the rest of the 7 minutes and 46 seconds left on this clock.
And you got to think they're going to hand it off to Kendall Garnett the rest of the night. Maybe
if he's not at 100 yards yet, he will be by the end of the night. That's for sure. Which it certainly seems like he's at 100.
Yeah, that turnover sets Cole Ballard and the Rocks offense up shop at their own 25-yard line.
Ballard takes a snap. What a guess. Hands it off to Kendall Garnett. Or is that Ryan Krieger?
I believe that's Ryan Krieger.
Krieger's finally getting in reps. Good for him. Yes, it is. He's getting some of the, I think that was either 2nd or 3rd touch of the night. So
Ryan
good for
Krieger, obviously the peak of his year so far was that Noblesville game, notching out 77 yards and a touchdown. Obviously the departure of Terry Williams is going to get him more reps moving forward this season as we move into sectionals.
The turnover king, Sam Toney, was that fumble. As there was a high snap, Ballard looking to throw. He throws and just incomplete. The target was Max Nosler there.
A little bit of a funky snap there, as we've seen plenty of times tonight, as that pass was intended for Max Nosler, I believe.
Yes, it was. Although Ballard is playing with a broken pinky, certainly is playing pretty well. I mean, most of these passes are not his fault. I mean, some of them are drops, most of them are drops. 3rd and intermediate, about 3rd and 6 or 7, 3rd and 6. Ballard will take the snap. Ryan Krieger right behind him. Two wide receivers on the bottom of your screen. Ballard takes a snap. Heavy pressure off the other side. Screen to Krieger. Krieger's just met by brute force there by Avon, as that'll bring up a 4th and long, and Brody Bain will come on to punt.
Great play recognition there by Avon. That'll be number 33 on Avon. That'll be Wesley Borders.
Good for him.
And that might spark some life for Avon, as Avon has 2 returners back.
This game ain't over yet. There's still 6:48 left.
Avon has 2 people back to return this punt, as Ryan Krieger is limping on the sideline.
Bain back to punt. Plenty of help to protect him, as there's some gaps in the front. I don't think I've seen something like that before, but just in college. Brody Bain, punt, end over end, big punt.
Huge punt, as this will get picked up at their own 30-yard line. Going to try to make a move, but they get swallowed up by a pile of rocks. Number 13 on the return. That'll be Jace Hurd, as they'll set up shop at their own 34-yard line. And Mason Reynolds is going to have to do something here for the Orioles. If they don't do anything here, I would say it's safe to say that this game is over, especially the level of play that this defense has been performing tonight.
I mean, I think I can either predict another turnover or a turnover on downs here. I feel like if they had a chance, they could go for it here on 4th down, but, you know, Avon has not been producing at all today on offense.
Mason Reynolds, nobody in the backfield. 4 wide receivers set. Here's a snap, looking quick to his right. Pass deflected there by Reese Wire. Intended receiver on that play was Emmanuel Montgomery, it looks
Great
like.
pass defense so far by the Rocks. I mean, outside of a couple big obvious plays that just left people wide open, their coverage, especially in man, has been pretty good.
Definitely. Mason Reynolds out for the 2nd and 10. At their own 34. Here's the snap. Mason Reynolds looking deep over the middle. Finds Emmanuel Montgomery. And that will set the Orioles up inside the Rocks 30. A huge gap found in the middle of the field.
What have I said? Blown coverage. There's just been some really obvious big blown coverage plays that contribute to most of Mason Reynolds' pass yards. Outside of a couple minor passes, he can't have more than, I'd say, 30 passing yards.
The Orioles are going to continue to go with this 5 wide receiver set.
Reynolds pass complete. As it
Cam
looks
Green
like
on the reception.
it is.
Last week, Green had 3 receptions for 14 yards.
So now the pass game is coming to life here for Avon. They might have some more energy. They might have something left here in the tank. 5:43 left in the game. 2nd and short. Again, an empty backfield for Mason Reynolds. Reynolds will take the snap. He's looking over the middle. Over the middle. Way overthrown and incomplete.
Intended receiver on that play was Emmanuel Montgomery, who we're seeing getting a lot of targets right now late in the game, but he's a speedster. I mean, you got to make big plays if you're down by 14 with only 5:30 left, and Emmanuel Montgomery is the perfect receiver to make those plays.
Casey Graybill now onto the field, runs onto the field. Avon tries to call him off sides. Reynolds with, from what it looks like, Ziegler right next to him. The snap, handoff to Ziegler just to get the 1st down, and he's going to try for more, as he's going to get met by a pile of humanity, as he'll get the 1st down, but at what cost?
Correction, Jaden Jones on that carry.
Dude, I'm... It's so tough from here. Folks, I have no clue how he does it. I have no clue how Aiden finds these numbers with these uniforms. Snap to Reynolds, hands off to Jones. Jones will not get anywhere, and that'll be 2nd down and long with 5 minutes left in the game.
Sam Toney on that play. who had a forced fumble earlier on this half.
Reynolds this week probably is doing better passing than last week. Last week he went 16 for 34, and he had 2 interceptions. I don't think he's thrown an interception, but he's had a couple fumbles. Reynolds takes the snap, hands off, fakes the handoff, play action, wide open. It looks like Montgomery, as he'll try and get the first down, and they'll mark him at like the 1 or 2 yard line.
Or 15, Noah Washington on that reception there. This will bring up a 3rd and very short. Or
nope, they're going to give him the first down.
They're going to move the chains here for the Orioles. 1st and goal from the 3.
Reynolds looking to do something great here, looking to shrink the lead by any means necessary. Hands it off to Jones, and Jones will walk into the end zone for a touchdown.
So now each Jones and Ziegler both have a rushing touchdown tonight for the Orioles. This thing is getting close. I mean, it always was. The Orioles were always in this game, but you got to think this is the Rocks' game to lose and the Orioles' game to win. And if the Rocks don't have a good offensive possession, this thing could go in the Orioles' favor.
That is correct. I mean, they tried that sneaky little pooch kick onside, whatever you want to call it, on kickoff. So one bad muff by Micah Webster, and it could be all over for him. Kick is up and good, and it'll be 28-21 here. Rocks lead. They get the ball back, and they gotta get some first downs, and they gotta possibly score here. 28-21 Rocks. 4:23 left in the game. You're watching the Westfield Sports Network. We are back here from Riverview Health Stadium. Rocks lead 28-21. Orioles just scored. They're going to, I'd assume, try an onside kick of some sort or a pooch kick, as the scoring summary from tonight is all on the ground. Cole Ballard started us off with a 2-yard rushing touchdown in the first. Then we had Dalen Ziegler in the second quarter, had a rushing touchdown of his own 2 yards. And then Cole Ballard again with a rushing touchdown for 1 yard. Kendall Garnett scored a couple touchdowns. He's had 2, one of 20-ish yards and another one shorter in the fourth quarter. And just now, Jalen Jones was the last scorer.
Kick yet again, onside. Westfield recovers.
Just pretty simple.
It was Andrew Liskey with the recovery on the onside kick there, as Cole Ballard will set up shop at his own 45-yard line.
Westfield, if they could pull it out here, they needed this win bad. They've been on a pretty bad streak, first losing streak since 2019. They've needed to do well here, and they've executed pretty well tonight, but not the best. Right now, they just got to run down the clock and try and get in victory formation. From the 45-yard line, Cole Ballard will take over for the Rocks. Kendall Garnett is in the backfield. They got to do their best to eliminate time and also get first downs. Hands it off to Kendall Garnett. Garnett on the outside will get some pretty good yards after contact, again with the pushing. Gets about 6 yards on that. Most of them are after contact, and it'll set up 2nd and 4 in Avon territory.
And unless it's like a 3rd and long, I'm confident that I'm gonna say the football is only gonna be touching Cole Ballard, Kendall Garnett, and Ryan Krieger's hands for the rest of the night. I mean, you're up 7, only 4 minutes left. You have to wind down the clock, maybe get in field goal range for Brody Bam.
3:45 left on the play clock.
Cole Ballard on 2nd and 2. Fake handoff. Max Nosler on the tight end flat. He's going to muster himself inside the Oriole 35.
Good blocking
Move
there.
the chains for a 12-yard gain.
I've heard from Micah Webster that he stresses tight end and wide receiver, that he, being Coach Gilbert, stresses tight end and wide receiver blocking for practices and for games, because obviously it's blocking needs to be a good part of a team for their run game to be a success. And right there was a perfect example of what he stresses during practice.
Cole Ballard in the shotgun. Kendall Garnett right behind him. First and 10. Here's the snap. And off Kendall Garnett. He's going to get smothered by a bunch of Orioles. He's going to stay on his feet. Wow.
That was pretty bad play there. Timeout by, it looks like the Rocks. Timeout by the Rocks. Kendall Garnett shaken up, obviously. I would be too after I just got pummeled by 3 Orioles.
He took a bunch of big hits by multiple defensive linemen. It's going to come up with 2nd and 14, a loss of 4 there for Garnett.
We're going to go for a quick break. You're watching the Westfield Sports Network. Inside of 3 minutes left now, the Rocks lead 28-21. 2:50 left on the clock. Westfield has the ball. They are facing a 2nd and 14 from inside the I said the Royals. That was 2 weeks ago. The Oriole 40. As Cole Ballard will most likely hand off to Kendall Garnett for the rest of the game.
Cole Ballard in shotgun. Going to hand this off. Nope. Going to fake the handoff to Kendall Garnett, and he's going to take it up for a good 5 yards.
That'll bring up 3rd and long.
3rd and 9 here for the Rocks, as it looks like
Avon will take
Avon will call
second
yet
timeout.
another timeout.
So let's go over some theoreticals here. Westfield gets a 1st down, then what do? You call your last timeout and then just hope you can get a stop? Or do you make the stop, call another timeout, and see where that gets you? Or do you want to save the timeout if you get back on the offensive side of the ball?
I think if you're Westfield, if you don't get the 1st down here, I would say it's no biggie, because this Westfield defense has slaughtered the Orioles offense and Mason Reynolds. I would say that I trust the Westfield defense to make a play and make a stop to keep the lead in these closing seconds of this game.
One final possibility. Do they trust Brody Bame after missing 3 field goals to sink one in clutch time?
It depends on how far it is. I mean, theoretically, realistically, they're going to get about 5 or 6 yards here, which will set them inside the 29, which would be about a 45-yarder. I wouldn't say I'm very comfortable with him making a field goal of that distance, but if they get this 1st down and Avon stops Westfield, I would say that I'm comfortable with Brody Bam giving it another shot.
We will see. It's 3rd and long.
Cole Ballard, 3rd and 9. Fake handoff, Kendall Garnett. He's going to bolt
Got a wide open lane. Cole Ballard still going, stumbling, touchdown!
What a
Cole
play.
Ballard!
What a play by Cole Ballard on the QB keeper. The read option sets him up for 6. What a play goal by Schlicker. And this will bump the score up to 34 for the Rocks.
That was a much-needed touchdown, and this is a much-needed win for Westfield. Last week, Cole Ballard had the worst rushing performance of his career, 8 carries for -9 yards. This week is completely different. I am willing to bet that he has over 75, maybe even 100 rushing yards tonight. As the kick is up and good by Brody Bame, 35-21. You're watching the Westfield Sports Network. We are back here in Riverview Health Stadium. The Rocks lead 35-21 after a Cole Ballard 30. How long was that? Was that 31 yards?
I would say
Actually, I think it was 39 because they start 34. We'll go split the difference. 34. Cole Ballard 34 yard.
that's a kickoff. Rocks.
I am.
Six kicks for him tonight. Touchbacks.
This
Will
one
be
going
yet
deep.
another touchback as Mason Reynolds trots on maybe one last time for the Orioles. Tonight hasn't been his best performance.
He's going to certainly try and get this Orioles team into the end zone.
35-21 here, 2:30 remaining. Let's say the Orioles marched down and scored touchdown in realistically a minute and a half. Do you think it's likely that the Orioles will continue that momentum and maybe getting an onside kick and scoring another touchdown to tie this game up?
Possibly, but their special teams has been very flat, very non-existent. They've tried these short little kicks that just have not worked.
5 wide receiver set for Reynolds. Here's the snap. Looking right, he's going to have nobody. It's going to be picked off by Andrew Liskey, and this is going to go the other way. Intended receiver was Anthony Kennedy, and Andrew Liskey likely wrapped this thing up with a great interception.
The Rocks have really emphasized defense this week. Turnovers are their best friend. They have multiple fumble recoveries, multiple now interceptions. This game is all Westfield, and they just clinched the win.
1st and 10 at the Avon 39 here. So Avon has one timeout. If you're Avon, you're down, obviously you're down 2 touchdowns. You just give up and let them run out the clock.
If I'm being honest, I do not see any point in Avon. I don't want to say try anymore, but I don't see any point in them being competitive anymore. You're down by 2 touchdowns. There's not really much hope for Avon at this point. There's only 2 minutes and 26 seconds left, and this gives Westfield their 3rd win against Avon in 3 years. They've had a lot of home success, as I said earlier in the broadcast. The Rocks are 63-41 at home all time. This win will make them 71-71 in HCC play all time. So they'll even that out, and they have 2 more games left against Fishers and Franklin Central. But against the Orioles, against Avon, all time they're 5-13. Avon has just dominated the series against Westfield, and now they will pick up their 6th win, their 3rd win in 3 years. And what an amazing game for Westfield.
Yeah, a great defensive performance from Westfield as well. That Andrew Liskey interception really kind of summarizes how this game has gone for the Westfield defense. Jackson Gilbert, the backup, is in at quarterback. He's going to hand this off to for 26, the Rocks. That's going to be Brock Stewart.
As that'll be 2nd and long. But Avon are being gentlemen, and they are letting Westfield run out the clock. You can get it done here in about 3 plays. So maybe try for a 1st down, but if not, then either punt the ball away or something. But I mean, they're letting you run down the clock.
Gilbert under center. He takes the snap. Hand off to Brock Stewart yet again. He's going to get around the corner and get tossed. He's going to tumble forward for about, I would say, 3 yards.
Just make sure you keep it in bounds, really.
Yep. And that's exactly what he did.
As the student section is about to storm the field, although they have advised the students to walk, not storm. Very good initiative there by Westfield Athletic Director Andy Tebby, as they're going to try and run down the clock as much as they can. Still got 16 seconds left on the play clock, but about a minute exactly now on the game clock, as They'll have to run one play after this third down and just try and run out the clock.
3rd and 18. Handoff Brock Stewart yet again. He's going to get inside.
Jackson Gilbert there with the handoff.
He'll get that to about the 40-yard line for a gain of about 3.
As they're just going to need to run one more play, and then the game is over.
But it's 4th down.
It is 4th down, but if you can run like a 1 second long play,
Yep.
look, judging by the game clock and the play clock, if you run one more play, then it's just over.
Yep.
So, as they run this final play, after a long, chilly night here in Westfield, Indiana, the Rocks get it done and win versus the Orioles. Your final score, pending the final play, Westfield 35, Avon 21.
Cole Ballard was obviously the X factor in this game. 2 rushing touchdowns. And that is going to do it. Your Westfield Shamrocks get it done. End their first losing streak since 2019. 35-21 is your final score. Next week, the Rocks travel to Fishers and take on the Tigers. And then the week after that,
We're back.
The final home game and possibly Evan and I's final stream in this press box for football. So
Sad
make
to
sure to
say.
tune in to that Franklin Central game. It's going to be 2 weeks from now. Fishers next week. What do we think about that game?
It's going to be a pretty good game. Judging by the Fisher score, I believe they took care of business against Franklin Central. Yes, they did. 26-15 was the final there. Fishers is moving up. I believe they are now 5-2, maybe 5-3. Or I should say 4-3. Otherwise, it was a great game tonight. And as Aiden mentioned, the next and possibly final stream of ours will be on October 14th versus Franklin Central. My name is Evan Cummings, wishing you a good night and a good fall.